step up in here. Niggas can't step up in here. Bago just step in the building. You niggas ain't allowed in here. LA records in the field. Your bitches, they stopping, they still. Blake off away in the building. You niggas ain't allowed in here.
I do this shit all day. I don't really like to talk too much. I do this shit all day. Ain't really much to talk about. I do this shit all day. I don't really like to talk too much. I do this shit all day. I do this shit all day. Present the best of me, gotta stand tall. Man, I'm fresh and clean, Gucci down, dog. Checking with the team, gotta keep shit rolling. Like a magazine shot, you know.
I like to welcome you to the world's motherfucking greatest podcast ever in the
world. Yes, Sirski.
All right, so we back. You know, gang shit. A lot of tomfoolery is going on. A lot of energy.
I ain't never laughed so
All
hard.
right, so first and foremost,
That's how you know I'm feeling good.
first and foremost,
I ain't laughed that hard in so motherfucking long.
there's a lot of shit that you guys have to get. So we'll make sure you get that. But
yeah.
until then, oh man. All right.
God damn.
First things first, I'm not a colonizer. So last time,
Charles, you are.
one of the last times I was here, we talked
in the
about
Mayan pyramids,
we
right?
talked about me being a colonizer. But remember, when Columbus went over there, he spread diseases and didn't,
You went there during the pandemic.
stole from the people.
You went there during the pandemic.
Can I finish? So I can't finish?
I'm just
stole
saying.
from the people, and did not give back. What I did,
Charles.
personally, was
Columbus.
get tested. Oh, Columbus, this is kind of funny. Got tested before I went.
Carlos.
Got tested before I went.
Julio.
Let's put that on. Let's put that on the record. Got tested.
Yeah, relax.
Got tested before I went.
Nah, he did.
As I got tested
Shorty a
before I
nurse.
went,
He
I got
definitely
multiple
got
tests.
tested. Yeah.
I got
You got
multiple
the
tests.
blood jump?
Randomly got a
Come on,
test.
Charles.
It was like, oh
Charles,
man,
you're
we might be too, far from the date. So then got another test.
Wow.
On another Lloyd. I don't have COVID. So after that, went there and not just spent, met with the people, talked with the people. Like those are my people now. Belize.
Went to native parts of the land.
I was in the village, like the actual, not like, like
You
in
got
Belize,
tribal paint.
not in Belize City. I had tribal paint. I did an African mud bath. That's what.
No, he definitely did.
There's a lot of people saying allegedly who haven't been there, and don't know anything. So it's just like the haters.
African mud bag.
It's just like I was there. I went to the people. I talked to the
Charles.
people.
Yes, sir.
You could actually look up. You could
He's
actually
still a
look.
colonizer, but
Not at all. You can actually look
you
up
can
all.
adapt to the land and be a colonizer.
Oh, yeah. So there was these groups of people in Belize.
This nigga just
They
doing
called
stuff.
the Gaffini people. I may be butchering it, but they are of West African, Central African descent, Arawak descent, and Caribbean island descent.
Sure.
And that is the sort of the village area that we were in. Also, this place, which we call Belize,
Slave trade
was
started there first.
in the Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
Very heavy over there. So they talk
Black
very
History
about
Month,
that,
people.
and they talk about
Black
how
History Month
them
goes before America.
and the Mayans, they had a society in which they intermingled, and then they have a specific group of them with
You got-
Mayan and African
You got
descent.
mad when I said, "Oh, y'all got bad bitches" on the other episode,
It's just like
but now
let's
you
not
talking about intermingle.
let's not
Politically correct. content.
let's not
My
deduce
bad.
them or
You got it.
reduce them to just bad bitches.
I would say simplify, but continue.
My whole point was that I thought I did more good than harm in Belize personally, and
Oh shit!
I shouted out my people. I showed love. I was with my black folks. Also, there was only like 10 people. Always. Big tipping on the resort for my people. Also, I will say that there were only 10 people at the resort when we were there, so it was very COVID friendly as well.
Right.
Basically had the place to ourselves. We won't even front. So all in all, I would like to say
And you
that
had the braids.
shout out Pop Smoke. Rest in peace to the Pop.
Big woo.
So, I just think that with all that being said, like, we have to rescind my Colonizer card and maybe give me.
How long were you down there?
I was there for right, drunk as shit. 3 days. 3 days. 4 days. 4 days. 4 days. 4 days. 3 days. 4 days. 3 nights. 4 days. 3 nights.
4 days, 2 days?
I'm gonna chill.
Okay.
Good trip. I didn't go there to
Thursday through Sunday?
Friday through
Friday
Monday.
through Monday?
Didn't go there to inflict harm.
In and out.
Didn't go there to inflict harm.
Hold on.
They try like at the pool and they jump too.
We had a hot tub in our villa.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
A villa.
Hold on.
Villa.
We seen the flower for the Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
The singular flower. I like that.
Singular flower.
You know, that's my vibe. You know, that's my vibe. You know, that's my vibe. The singular flower is like.
That's my vibe.
I love you.
Nigga.
What's wrong? What's wrong with that? Listen. Sometimes he does stuff and then wants to blame us later. Like what did we do? What did we do?
Bro, like,
James.
no. Like,
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
This one time, I outnumber y'all because he need to stop right now.
He's gonna end.
You said enough.
I'm not ending nothing. So
That's
here's
the
what I
problem.
said. Bruh, we went in the group chat.
I don't think
and was
anyone
like,
knows
bro,
how any of
like,
this works.
Yo, if you want to know how to wind down your woman, I gave tutorials to everybody who was in the group chat. Did I not?
I gave.
Did I not?
Thank you.
Did I not?
You did, but like
I not?
this is where I have to agree with Foley. Like you're an expert. Like you giving Kevin Samuels right now.
Kevin Samuels.
You're giving
I
Kevin
don't
Samuels.
think you want that.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I say stop.
Yeah, you giving Kevin
Niggas
Samuels.
don't listen.
I'm just
That's
saying.
why I said I outnumber y'all. He need to stop right now. Then you go talking and he say Kevin
I'm
Samuels.
just giving people what they need to give.
No.
Gave.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna front.
I'm not steering
you
anybody in the wrong direction.
No, you're
Foley
not.
asked
You're
the
not.
question.
If Foley need...
Listen. I won't even front. I asked Omatic. I said Omatic. I need the chocolate covered strawberries.
That's
he
what
was.
I'm saying.
He was
I
like.
sent him where to go.
You asked him where to go.
He sent me. He sent me where to go. So there's.
Caitlin.
You have to relax. You have to calm down.
but-
You have to calm down.
But obviously
But
you know.
yes,
But
listen,
obviously you know.
Omatic is listen.
That's what I'm
Omatic
saying,
is
bro.
there's
Like,
no
I'm here
denying
for it.
there's no denying
He's a
that
romantic
Omatic
man. Romantic man.
Omatic likes the finer things in life. Period. So when it comes to romance,
She got her chocolate covered strawberries because
I need you to close your eyes a little bit.
I would have found him. But
You would have found them, but I
but
helped you out.
yes,
I
and
helped
I
you
just
out.
said it.
I ate
I
it
literally brought it up that you
And
helped
if
me.
anybody needs some help,
For you.
I ate it to that shit.
Whoa, why you gotta throw? Why you
Bro,
gotta throw
you
people
can't just be
out there?
saying
Why you
names. You
gotta
can't be
throw
saying
names out
names.
there?
We can cut it out.
No, we'll bleep that.
I'm not editing.
I will edit you, but I can not edit someone like. But listen,
Why are you talking to other people? Like,
what do you mean?
I'm saying, don't worry about it. You're good, buddy. Listen,
Bro, like I'm here for everybody. That's what I said going into this weekend, bro. This is what I said prior to the episode that we had.
Yes,
I said I'm here
yes.
for everybody. I said I don't have nothing for nobody that's in my circle, but I have everything for everybody that needs that, little push. You know what I mean?
hey, listen, I'm not denying anything you're
That's what I'm
saying.
saying, bro.
So, but what I'm saying is that it can come off sometimes very like
Oh yeah, I'm
Kevin
trash.
Samuels. So it's
Bro,
like
I'm trash. I said this.
it's not about you being trash because
no,
like nobody
it's
re-
not, but,
because
like,
no one
I'm
really
very
actually
trash.
cares. Listen, that's personal.
People trash.
We've
Take that with you. You have to take that with you, God, and the people who think you're trash. Like that really has nothing to do with
Are you
us.
ready to take Muhammad as your?
Relax. Calm down. Calm down.
For sure.
Now you have to relax. You have to calm down.
That's not my path.
It was a great joke.
I was just joking.
You gotta
It's not a joke. It's not a joke, man. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. That's what I'm saying. It's not my path.
It was a good joke. It was a.
Never know, bro.
I just don't understand how we got here.
Let's get back on course.
We have to get back on course. The
I love everybody. I love everybody.
Listen,
man. That's all I
all
got,
right,
bro.
listen,
That's all I
listen.
got, man.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you, but you have to understand, it really comes off very much so like,
Oh, yeah,
what
niggas
are the
telling you I'm
credentials? Like,
trash.
listen, you keep harping on trash. It's not about you
No, I'm
being
very
trash. What do you have to be giving up the romance advice? That's what the streets are asking.
Katie. Okay, keep on.
That's what the streets are asking.
What are they asking specifically?
What are the credentials?
For being trash?
Wait, wait. Just wait for it. What are the credentials? So credentials.
Come on,
This
bro.
is the Kevin Samuels thing. Like, when you don't have the credentials, niggas look at you kind of funny. So, like, I feel your romance. You're an enthusiast.
Kevin Samuels got credentials?
That's my whole point. That's why a lot of people look at him funny. It's like, what are you talking about, my guy? Like, are you married? How much what you got popping? Like, you out here doing all this advice. It's very simple advice. Be on somebody's level. It's not really rocket science. I don't see what the issue is. And he makes a good point. Like, there's average people. So, like, if you're average, be with someone average. Like,
sure.
Why would you get the comforts of being with someone great when you're
Average.
doesn't make sense, man or woman. So, like, I don't think he's saying anything that's like, ooh,
Average looking or
average whatever. But that's the whole point. Like, average looking women got to do
niggas be doing overall.
do more to
But
get.
sometimes certain attributes mean more, and that's what they base their off of.
But that's the whole point. Like, he made some good points about, like, in the society we live in. That's why, like, Biggie could be like fat, black, and ugly as ever, coochie down to the, because, like, men don't have to be attractive. They just need
gotta have
money.
for sure.
That's the whole point of this. Like, ugly men can survive in this society if they have money. This is the fact. A ugly woman can have a lot of money, and people are still gonna think of her as an ugly woman. This is
She's still getting hit though.
for sure. Are people going to be as willing to tell you she's getting? They're hitting that.
If it's torch.
How many ugly women do you know? In your mind, you don't even have to say names. Who are public or somewhat celebs?
Like celebrities?
Yeah.
In my mind.
In your mind,
that are ugly.
yeah, who just be getting hit, and people are outwardly like, "Oh yeah, I touched that."
Khloe Kardashian.
Once again, like here, that's what I'm saying. Like,
She blew me because that was number 2 on the list.
first of all, like, I'm not even
But
about
she's
it.
not even ugly.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not entertaining stuff like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even entertaining stuff like that.
But in my mind, she's just not me.
Yes,
Not the type.
fine. That's what I'm saying. There's
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's
what
a
is-
lot of women.
What is ugly?
You know what ugly is, buddy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to put
Chloe
nobody's.
bro.
Oh man, that's what I'm saying. We're not. Why are you guys entertaining certain stuff? I'm not entertaining nonsense.
Chloe's
Like,
fine,
if you
bro.
think Chloe's ugly, that is fine. I'm not even about to
No, I don't
fucking.
think she ugly.
That's not even about to fucking go
That's a
into
vicious
debate.
word. That's a vicious
My
word.
point exactly.
She dropped like 40 pounds, bro. She's fire.
Bro,
You need to stop trying to persuade me. Like, you're persuading you.
Chloe's
Like,
fine.
I didn't say
Listen,
anything. I just
big-
say she's not ugly.
Chloe been touchable.
I ain't dig it.
She's not the type.
You're
No, he.
Listen, why? Once again, why? Listen, I'm not listening to
You
y'all.
see how I stop? You see how I
Y'all
stop?
will let women bait y'all into conversation like y'all touch anything. What do y'all touch? What do they touch? What do women touch?
What you touching?
What if Falake touch?
Anything.
What if Falake touch?
Anything.
She
Anything.
touch
Anything.
anything.
Woman fuck anything too. So
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not listening.
Adam here.
Stop letting them bait you into yes.
Happy
Men,
birthday.
Stop.
men
Happy
You see me
birthday.
stop.
and men fuck anything. Who they
self-control
fucking?
has changed.
Who they fucking?
Happy
Who
birthday.
they fucking?
Everything.
Who
Happy
they fucking?
birthday,
They fucking other
Falake.
women, right?
Yes.
Anything.
Anything.
So anything's are fucking
Hey,
anything.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
I'm saying.
Happy birthday, Falake.
We're not coming
I
here
don't know how we got there.
because this is the thing.
Because happy
We're-
birthday, Falake. What are you talking about? Happy birthday. Enjoy yourself.
Her birthday was like 3 weeks ago.
Don't care. She's enjoying herself.
What?
Mom's night out.
Once again.
It's not a once again, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is pushing it on the rug. You want to bring it over. You know what I mean?
No.
Push
no.
what under the
I don't know
rug?
what
I
we're talking
literally-
about. I don't know.
I literally said
stop
that
it. Stop
we're-
it. Everyone stop.
Everyone stop.
This is the second time I said stop.
Everyone stop.
And then everyone needs to stop.
Everyone stop.
Stop.
Everyone stop. Ooh, it's getting real spicy in here right now, buddy.
Being a grown up is scary.
Everything's getting real spicy. Once again.
Shit, man.
I'm trying to save this shit. Like, stop. Shut up. Stop.
He's talking to you personally.
No, I'm talking to. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. We're not going there. Stop it. Say less. Keep him going.
You
Charles
guys are
Willoughby.
hilarious. Nah, I I had a whole thing about how like the Texas grid, the national grid, and all that stuff. But I don't even want to do that no more.
No, we can talk
How we
about
always get into politics, Charles?
Because that's a
Bro,
problem.
this is $1 for him, bro. I said this shit in my head the other day. I said every time Charles want to bring up politics, it's $1 for him.
Why?
Because nigga, you always
the world around us is not
I don't
important.
care,
It is
nigga. You always
political,
want to
though.
bring that shit up.
Is it not
bro.
pertinent to? Is
We
it
do
not?
not care,
But the
bro.
fact that they're
So-
blaming it on green
so
energy when
you
it's
were-
actually natural gas,
like, the
that's the
world
reason
do not
why
care,
that they
bro.
don't have
Like,
energy is
we
the
do not
crazy
care.
part.
Like stuff is
'Cause
going
they have
on
enough
in real
green
time.
energy
Like,
to
Like
power
real time.
Texas.
So
We don't care,
so
bro.
do you
Even
want me?
though the windmills
It's
froze.
not-
Hold on. So would you rather be like
This is
talk
not
about?
what-
Hold on. So alternative. Would you rather be talking about like Floyd Mayweather
I
giving
don't care about that. but at the same
none
time,
of
young
them can read, so I don't care what
young
you're talking about.
NBA's
of them can
kid
read.
like $1 million watch?
I
None of
don't
them
care
can
about
read.
that shit.
What would you rather?
Every
What would
episode,
you rather
bro.
be the topic of
No,
conversation?
bro. Every episode,
None of them can
you
read.
talk
What
about
would-
some political situation.
Because there's something political
That's
going
what
on in the
Donald
world every day.
I'm
I
not
just made
mad
a
at
point,
it.
and
My
niggas
thing
ain't say
is-
nothing.
my
I feel
thing
like I made a
is-
very educated point.
Which
I
was?
said
think-
the fact that the Republicans in Texas are blaming the energy shortage on green energy, but it's actually the natural gas shortage that is the problem when they have enough green energy to do what they need to do, even though the windmills froze.
I think we're all on the same side of like.
See, I wasn't
This
even
is
going to talk.
problem.
I wasn't even going to talk about it like that. I was going to talk about it from a way different percent. I was going to talk
Exactly.
about for the actual people who are like, let's feel sorry for Texas. Like, I had a
I feel
whole
sorry for
different.
Texas, but at
I
the
had a
same
whole
time, it's
different.
like, fuck
How could
Texas.
you feel sorry for Texas when the
The
fucking
state was
governor,
open. The state has
when the
been open.
motherfucker is saying I don't care about this shit, bro.
Jones is making money right now.
I just thought that like.
Your man does not care, so how could you feel sorry for that shit, bro?
So I think that's kind of important because Texas has been open and Houston has been the place that we were all
Ted Cruz don't care about black
everybody
people.
who been like outside of Atlanta
So
and
how could
Miami.
you feel sorry for that shit, bro?
But that was I was just gonna bring up
When
that.
I went
that
to Texas,
I was just gonna try to bring up that salient point, but you said you don't want to bring up politics,
When I
so
went
let's
to
move
Texas,
on.
I was just like,
You
I felt
probably
sad
want to
with
talk
black
about
people.
Boosie and Lori Harvey.
I don't want to.
So let's-
I don't
so-
want
so
to.
let's- so let's
I
go
have
for it.
nothing
I don't even know nothing
How
about
do you
that.
feel?
What is that?
How do you feel about being
Charles,
wifed up?
Charles, in your braids, I do not care about Boosie or Harvey.
I don't even know what that is.
I also care about Ted Cruz and his fucking trip while his fucking city
Why?
is
Why do you
going
care?
under siege, bro.
Why do you care?
Cause
Ted Cruz is
my
a
thing
senator.
is- my
Ted,
thing-
Ted
my
Cruz is a
thing-
senator, and he
State.
passes,
I
and his
don't
job,
care.
and his job is to
Not
pass
city,
legislative
state.
law.
My
State.
thing is,
No legislative law is about to
my
get
thing
passed
is,
in the last 4
fucking
days.
Republicans is like, we don't believe in.
I thought he didn't want to talk about.
Nigga, you do. The fucking
I don't.
Republicans
You know
like,
he
yo. Nigga, you love this shit, so shut
I want to talk Lori Harvey and Boosie, bro.
No, you don't.
That's
We
what you
talked
want.
about Lori two
I
episodes
know
ago.
nothing about that.
We talked about Lori
All right,
two
so you
episodes
see
ago,
Boosie,
bro.
he was like, she
No, I
got
didn't
wife.
watch his videos, bro.
I don't watch the videos, but you know, but you,
Boosie
but you,
tweeted
but
that.
you know,
Nah,
I be locked
Boosie
in.
ain't been scrambled,
You know I be
bro.
locked in.
That
He was
nigga
like,
was-
all right,
that
let me
nigga
tell.
is-
All right,
he
so
was
look,
in
can I walk
jail.
you through? Can I
Nah,
walk you
nah.
through?
He was in jail.
Can I walk you
Got
through?
out.
Can I walk you through?
And then got 100,000.
That's cool.
to
That's
show.
cool.
If
And
he
then
don't
it's
walk
like,
you through,
bro,
I'll walk you
any
through.
that type of nigga.
Boosie
I can't fuck with
basically
him.
said that Lori and Michael B. Jordan. He said Michael B. Jordan is a simp.
Are we really about to talk about this?
Yeah, sadly.
No,
He
no.
said Michael B.
I'm about to
Jordan
go
is
take
a
a
simp.
piss. I'm about to go take a piss.
Well, all right, back.
Talking about that.
We can talk, Charles.
outta here.
Nigga said Michael B. Jordan is simp just because he wife and shorty.
I know the story. It was more so
Yeah.
than incline him. I don't think he's a simp. I think niggas
I
care.
definitely said simp. I think I talked.
That's
to
what I'm
him in
saying.
the
You
group text
niggas
about
care
shit.
way too much about.
I don't care about that shit.
Yes, well, no, I see a simp. You niggas care far too much about the relations of women. Not even that you'll never sleep with, but there's just women that don't care about y'all. Like, it's not even like Lori Harvey even be out here like trying to gain y'all niggas' attention or y'all personal feelings. Y'all not in the tax bracket. Y'all not just around her. Like, I don't really understand why a dude
I don't
who got
care.
a lot of money
I don't care.
can't get with the hottest chick around. Like I'm just really confused. Like
The issue at that point should be brought up with, I guess, Boosie at that point, bro. I don't have a problem with that shit.
I know what Boosie is saying. I get what he's saying, but it just makes no sense now. Like 20 years ago, for sure. But like in 2021, it just doesn't jive with how everything works now. It just doesn't. Like it just doesn't compute. Like as far as I'm concerned, bro. The shorty, niggas be talking about like she's fucking everybody. That's fine. What does it matter? She has no babies.
Fact.
Like that's first and foremost. She has no babies.
Fact.
So even if she's fucking everybody, there are no kids here. First and foremost.
No attachment.
There's no attachment.
At all.
She wasn't married.
If I was her,
She's fucking a few niggas and she's moving on from niggas is buying her shit and her name is getting like she's becoming a socialite. Have we not seen this with Amber Rose? Have we not seen this with Black China? Have we not seen this with plenty of women before her? What is the issue now? What is the issue now? You niggas are just mad because she's kind of young and she's kind of mysterious.
She's kind of young. She definitely young.
If she talked more and y'all could read her better, we wouldn't be doing this. She doesn't talk, so y'all don't have anything to really say about her. So you guys are making up a lot of this.
I love this.
This is all it is.
I love this.
It's all it is.
I love it.
And it's very weird. I don't understand why y'all care so much about this girl. This girl has done nothing. Like nothing at all. She's really about to become Kim Kardashian, and I praise her so much.
So
I hope she becomes the Black Kim Kardashian.
How do you feel about Kim K
Getting divorced again?
Yeah, today.
Once again, people be divorced. They were married for almost 7 years. Do you know
more so than 7 years?
Okay, so do you know like how long like average American marriages last? Apparently like 5 or 4 years. Like
3 to 5.
They've been in a marriage
3 to 5.
statistically longer than the average American marriage. Like that's fine. Like I don't. Once again, this is none of my business. People get divorced all the time.
This
in
is
particular,
our business, though.
it's not. In particular, rich people. This happens. Like I promise she keeps the last name West for a little bit.
She keep it West?
I promise you she keeps it West for a little bit.
How long?
Until she finds
It's
a bigger
2021
husband.
now.
Until she finds a bigger husband. Until she finds a bigger husband. Like, this is what this is. This is what pop culture, like, this is what you guys care about. You guys care about the very mundane shit about pop culture, and then people ask why things are stuck the way they are. You guys want to talk about dating and the lives of other people, which is very weird. This is very weird, and that is fine. If talking about the dating lives and the dating lives of other people you don't know, as well as your fictional dating life, bro, go on a fucking date. If you like her so much, go on a date. If she doesn't want to, if you can't get a date, it might be something with you, shawty. If you can't find a date, it might be something with you, my nigga. Perfectly fine. You know what happens when me and my girl want to go on a date? She's like, yo, this is what I want to do. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, bet, let's do this. Oh, I like this? Well, you know, this is doing this here. Let's do this. Because we're fucking adults. And we like to do stuff, and we do stuff together. So that's how it fucking works over here. If you need to do whatever, that's fine. Like, if you want to do this so you can sit on Twitter and Instagram and whatever and argue with other adults you don't know, Clubhouse, fine. I get it. It's fun. Like I get it. I spend a lot of time in the crib because of all of this, and I do it too. I be on there. I'm part of the mess. But I also, I literally told y'all, I literally was on my Instagram and Belize laughing because I told you guys how to not do all this Valentine's Day shit. Well, I literally flew out of the country during a pandemic to go on a Valentine's Day shit. So like, dude, listen, like my old African, like my old African uncles used to tell me, do not listen to what I do not do what I do. Listen to what I say.
It's not cap.
That's what I tell people.
You got my shirt on.
Charles is engaged. It's not cap.
The truth be is that
like that's his wife.
you guys care
so
far
like,
too much about the opinions of people that are never going to get you fucking anything. Not no money, not no fucking food, not no shelter, not no
sex.
Emotional engagement, nothing,
no satisfaction,
nothing greater. And you guys state your whole opinions and livelihoods on these people, and then you get upset when they don't engage you the way you want. Mm-hmm. And once again, that is very weird to me. Black man and shit, I get it. I hear it all the time. And you know what? I love it. You know why? Because there are a lot of black men who aren't shit. But you know what Charles is? He's not that. So I love the rhetoric because it means nothing and it hurts me nothing at all. If it hurts you that much that these women feel this way,
it should be motivation.
It's not even motivation. That might say something about you that these women feelings about you feels this way. You know what? When I really get pissed, when I really get pissed off and women start saying that, you know what I say? I just say black women ain't shit. That's all I just say. It's a really simple alternative, right? Like, be a child or grow up. Like, We can play elementaries. This is the thing, and this is my theory, my greater theory. We're living little rascals now. So all of this thing we're doing,
He-Man Woman Hater Club.
that's all it is. All these like grown-ups are doing, it's the little rascals. I love her not. I love her not. And they get together with their boys, and then the girls get together and like, yeah, he stinks.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. Now listen,
Alfalfa in them.
there are definitely some very cultural things from the past that affect these things. And once again, most of you guys don't even want to delve into the nuance. I got people telling me the black church doesn't matter. And I'm like, no matter how you feel about religion, the history of America and black people is nowhere without the church or religion overall, for better or for worse. No matter what you think of the place, the institution, and what it lies there, the history of these people, from the singers to the activists to the politicians,
All started in the church.
all come in some direct route from the church up until this 21st century.
And we love DC black
The
history.
21st century might be the first
Most of
time.
the best go-go singers come from black churches.
The 21st century might be the turning point in which the black church isn't as influential as it once was.
sure.
But for literally 200 years,
They
that
ran
was an
that shit.
intricate part of black society. And I got people
AME
telling me,
and Baptist, to be
I got people
specific.
telling me that shit don't matter. Once again, if you don't want to have the conversation because you don't have the range, all you gotta say, baby girl,
Is I don't got
want
the
a
range.
Yeah, that's all you gotta say. Yeah, all you gotta say. And my thing is that, and this is my thing. Charles does not know all.
I ain't no Christian, but I put something in all.
And Charles can be educated and schooled on many a things, on many walks of life. But your personal experiences do not negate history. And that is all I'm trying to say to people. So once again, we don't have to talk about anything. We don't have to. We can talk about Lori Harvey, we can talk about Boosie, we can talk about this, we can talk about that. But at the end of the day, what are we really doing here? Like, what we do here, in my always opinion, is that we give honest conversation about what's going on in real time. If something is happening, we talk about it. So when like mental health was an issue, we decided that we were going to talk about mental health from our perspectives. We thought it was important because during the time, a lot of mental health was going on and black men needed to talk about it. So as 3 black men, we decided that was going to be our issue.
Niggas was individually going through stuff.
And we wanted to talk about it. Certain times, it's going to be certain things. When it's time to talk about dating, we will have the people here and we'll talk about dating. But once again,
Because niggas was all in relationships.
I'm not spending every fucking walking moment of this podcast getting another hot Twitter topic of debate about $200 dates, who should pay for this, who pays for the vacation, da-da-da. Only people I see talking about that.
Even the 6 dozen roses.
That was funny. That was fun. Valentine's Day is a fun thing to talk about. So we'll talk about that in its context. But the only people I see talking about that are people who are truly, truly miserable. That's the perfect truth. Or people who are super happy in their life and are just fucking trolling you guys. Fucking getting you guys all riled the fuck up while they go home and lay down on their bae's lap or chest or whatever. I'm part of the problem too, because y'all be gaslighting the shit out y'all right next to bed at night. Come here.
You be right next to her gaslighting the timeline, Charles.
Come here. Come a little closer.
That's vicious.
Gaslighting the timeline like shit.
Goes.
And I have no shame because all you niggas is lying. And at least for me, I'm not lying. Might not always be giving you the full scope of this. I'm not lying.
Because some things are private.
Discretion. That's all we ask. All I ask. This is what one of my favorite people is in here. A few of my favorite people are in here, but one of my favorite people is in here because she practices discretion. I can tell her stuff, and I know no matter what, no one will know. For good, for better, or for worse.
I think I can retweet that.
For better or for worse, I know it will stay and where it needs to stay, and that's all I ask with anybody or any person. Certain shit like, listen, it's fun and games. We talking about nonsense. It'll be here. But there's certain things that I feel as though, like, you've told me that until anybody, it's nothing nobody needs to know, because
for sure.
it's the discretion. It's the fact that
I asked numbers earlier. You told me numbers.
it's
and
the
I left it
it's
at
the
that.
discretion. It's the discretion. It's because we know each other. I would say over a decade so well and in so many facets and talk
Me and
personally.
KD almost 20
in
years
groups.
in, bro.
We talk by ourselves with each other in large groups,
Like,
small groups.
you know what I'm saying?
That I can understand that, like, yo, we have a way of living and talking that, like, certain things can be said and certain things should not be said.
For sure.
Certain things will be said around certain people and they will not be said around certain people.
And you will open up to everybody when you feel as though it needs to be open to everybody.
Everything is about discretion. And
Even when you tell those people, it's not leaving those people.
And I can't stamp that enough with just all walks of life. I'm not just talking about like romantic relationships. I'm talking about this friendship. I'm talking about this business partnership. I'm talking about the idea that, like, that's why I've been saying all night. Don't let the other people, because it's fun. It's listen. I fuck with everyone, so we're joking, so it's all good. But when you let the people gas you, you end up running amok. You end up doing things that you
can't control fire, my nigga.
You end up doing things.
Like, you can't control any natural element.
You end up doing things that you cannot run back from.
Water, breathing.
Once
fire,
shit start flowing,
you can't control any
it
natural
start flowing.
element.
Once the faucet turn on, unless you can get to it, you might drown.
For sure.
You might. That's what I'm saying. You might drown.
You're either gonna drown or you're gonna run out of water.
You gonna get wet.
Hope
that
you run out of water before you drown.
But you're gonna get wet.
For sure. So either way, you gotta deal with the shit.
And that's the thing. Like, sometimes in life you're gonna get wet, and that's what I'm saying. I'm okay with that. But I'm only okay doing it for certain circumstances, for certain people, and for certain reasons.
I'm done.
And you guys are some of them. So I will go, like I've said, hold on. I'm gonna finish this for 1 second. Now, I had a pause real quick because the Duce got me, you know, I've been one from the gin to the Henny to the Duce.
Hey, Charles, I'm here with you.
So,
and then we sparked the 2 vicious J's in the car.
Yeah.
Because them things was smoking.
But my thing about doing it, about the discretion, and I think now I want to move to loyalty, is that loyalty is a false concept, and I need some of us to let go of. Loyalty is just some notion. I don't know how much it really exists or how much it doesn't. What you should do is do right by people. That's what you should do. Doing right by people every time. Sometimes it's harder than others. So I guess that's where the loyalty comes into play. But doing right is the main thing. So sometimes doing right is something that might not be considered.
But they call this humanity.
And I think that's a better thing. Let's be humans.
Let's
have humanity, because this idea of loyalty, sometimes I think gets us into bad, tricky situations when we end up doing things that you
pick and choose.
Where you got to do things that aren't in the nature of being a good or the right thing. And once again, who's to judge what's right?
Morality.
Who's to judge what's right? Who's to judge? I'm not. I try to stay away from all that because shit is fucked up, and like Omatic said, I'm kind of a fucked up person when it all comes down at the end of the day. So,
but you know though, and like as long as you know.
Well, yeah, that's a big conversation we've always had. Like, you know, it's about the self-awareness.
For
like,
sure.
how much are you willing to be honest with yourself and what you do? Not saying niggas should go out, be bad people, and then be like, yeah, I know I'm a bad person. But like, we all have flaws. Like we all are, devoid in some way. Mm-hmm. Like that would be dishonest in myself to act like I don't have issues.
I know.
So some of my issues might just be bad, and what makes somebody a bad person, I don't think is like necessarily like. It's not always a bad thing. Like, what may make me think you're a bad person, you might be like, shit, nigga, what are you talking about?
That shit's kept me thriving.
Vice versa. So, like, I'm not really here for, like, the judging of other people. I'll judge myself. So I feel like, with all my knowledge of...
But at the same time, you approaching me saying that you think that that's a flaw in me
might not be.
Is friendship.
For sure, but that's what I'm saying.
That's like you letting me know something that is just like, hey, bro, like.
But that's all. Remember when I talked about transactional relationships on the Valentine's Day episode? Mm-hmm. That's what the transactions are. It's about. I was talking to Foley. She was like intimacy, talking about like past relationships, and I was like, nah, I don't really. Them people don't really know me like that.
For sure.
She was like, what you mean? You were intimate? I was like, yeah, we were intimate for sure. But like,
they don't know me like that.
I was like, these guys might know me. a little bit more intimate than. But she was like, it was a different type of relationship, and I was like, no,
Yes, but no.
you're right, but because the thing about it is that intimacy is all about sharing.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about I see a lot of times women talk about it like intimacy without sex, like da da da, and then they ask, what do you call it, or like what does it look like? It doesn't look like anything. It looks like opening up.
For sure.
So like
Being impersonable.
and that's the thing about intimacy. Intimacy is all in the relationship between you and somebody. My intimacy levels with you and her and him and this person and that one could
Totally
all be different. And the relationships could relatively be the same. I could have 5 relationships, 5 friendships with 2 men, 2 women, and whatever. And da, da,
A
da.
lot of people probably think we talk a lot outside of this podcast. We don't.
I've been trying to tell people we talk in spurts. Like we very talk like
individually, we don't talk.
yeah, I would say we talk like for like a good 2 hours. It would be something like this. Like niggas wake up and then like 2 hours of just talking.
Yeah.
And then niggas will talk to each other maybe again for like
3 days, 4 days.
something
maybe until
else
we got
happens.
to record.
Something else happens. A
sure.
conversation.
Yeah.
And there's always a few days where there's just like conversation that's just readily
Just
flowing.
talking.
But that's very few and far between. I think that's what is like. To be honest, I feel like I talk to y'all more on the timeline.
Yeah.
Just
Than
in
in
like
person.
like off some like
Son,
da da
the
da.
whole ride here, we didn't talk. Jai, like, I asked you a question about a song.
But that's the thing about, once again, I think that's the thing about intimacy. Like, I see that with my fiance. Sometimes we just sit on the couch for like a couple hours and we don't be talking.
Hey, son, can I dap you up like on camera for the fiance?
No,
That's vicious.
yeah. No, and sometimes we just like, we don't really be talking, and then I'll look up and I'll be like, damn, a few hours have passed. And it's just like, I think the reason is I just enjoy the presence. Now, that's a weird thing to say because I feel like, though, you could do that with a lot of people, but you also have to be willing. And that's the thing I think what makes all relationships different. I hate to be this guy, and this might be bad, but like I think all relationships can progress to certain points, but people have to be willing. And sometimes people don't want to hear that because they think it's supposed to be fairy tales. They think you're supposed to wake up one day and it's supposed to be perfect. Then you're supposed to meet your best friend when you're in the first grade, and you're supposed to grow up and be lifelong best friends to the rest of your life and go to the same college. Saying they think you're supposed to meet the girl on the steps of here and there and look into her eyes and fall in love and just know that from that moment she was the one. It was no one else. It was her and only her. It's not how it all works, man. Sometimes it does. Listen, I don't deny that. But sometimes it's like years of being with somebody and like peeping their character and realizing like, damn, I fucks with this person is cool. Like, you're really dope. Like, just as a person. Like, fuck all the other shit. You're just really like, you're my person. Like, this makes sense. Like, I've done this superficial shit with other people. No, you're my person. They come taste friend groups. And they just be trying to find friends their whole lives, and then they meet a group of people, and they're like, man,
shout out to Ism.
you cats get me. Like, no matter what, like, my little quirks, you know, sometimes I be saying bitch ass nigga, but you know I'm not talking, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I'm not
Thank you guys
saying that you a bitch ass
accepting
nigga.
me.
You know what I'm saying?
for saying that. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
He
sometimes
added me.
I think people get upset when it doesn't work out. Niggas think they're supposed to be married by 25, have 2 kids in the house by 30, and, you know, live off into their career and then be retired by 60. It's not really how it always has to work.
That's a very outdated.
And that's the whole. Listen, this is my greater point with a lot of issues here. We live in a very outdated way of living.
Antiquated.
Very antiquated way of living. Like, I see women say, I'll never propose to a man. And I'm like, that's a very interesting
You
concept.
know how fast I say yes?
Not even about.
That was a joke. I just had to. I had to get that off.
I don't even think it's about the.
I had to get that off.
I don't even think it's
It was
about.
there,
It was great.
It was there.
Once again, you've been pretty good on the jokes today.
Son, timing.
Greatness. It's not about the saying yes or not, but it's about to me, it's about the roles. It's about the balance in roles. If we're going to live in a society in which we are balancing out roles, we balance out the roles.
No, facts.
To keep certain
Equality.
things antiquated is fine, but you understand that comes with antiquated thinking.
For sure.
Marriage as a literal institution
Keep it going.
is degrading to women. I don't care what any of them say.
For sure.
As the institution exists, it is for one man to give you off to another man. That is what the institution is. That is what it has historically been. And that's my issue. People are like, we don't care about the history. Huh? Marriage literally, from its existence, was for tribes to commingle. Take one man saying, I like your daughter.
One king's daughter to
or one
another
person
king's
saying,
son. Yes.
or one man, one farmer saying,
Yes,
hey,
Charles. I'm here with
your land is good here,
Yep.
and if your daughter marries your son or whatever,
Very fruitful.
we'll
Yep.
become a greater. This is what the institution
Combined
of
kingdoms
marriage
or tribes
has
and shit.
always
Yes.
been.
I'm here.
Marriage is just some shit for poor people in the really last 100 to 150 years. Let's be perfectly honest. For poor people, which all of us are, this is when marriage has really become popping.
Yo.
Even the idea of divorce.
That was a great joke.
He's not trying.
I don't think you know how funny that was.
Yeah,
That was funny.
poor enough.
Even the idea of divorce.
Because we talked about big B's and little B's on this show before, and it's just like, son.
Even the idea of divorce.
It's some money out this motherfucker, son.
Divorce is a very new thing for everybody to do.
I'm here.
For a long time, only the rich could divorce.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because you can only, you know how long that should be tied
Because
up in court?
marriage is for rich people.
I'm here.
This is why.
You have to divide
It's not
assets.
for you poors.
Not liabilities. You got to divide
People,
assets.
listen,
You know what I'm saying? All
listen.
that.
I know people who are still married for.
And if you married for 15
I know
years,
people
your
who've been
prenup
married
don't
for
even exist
30,
no more.
40 years.
Your prenup is null and void.
And you think they married just because they love each other?
No.
I beg to differ.
For sure.
I beg to differ.
I am not trying to give her 75%.
I beg to differ.
I am going to come out in the L in this, and I don't want to do
But once
that.
again, that's not what marriage is about all the time.
hip, Charles.
Marriage is not always about love and fairy
Charles,
tales.
Charles.
Sometimes it's about a practical decision.
Yes.
Like I heard someone say, security.
Yes.
So I'm not going to be upset with people.
I don't like that, though.
But this is the thing. It's not about what I like or what I don't like.
Charles. You're not going.
It's the
I'm
truth,
not
though.
going to rebuttal me
It's the
about that.
truth, though. It's not about what you like or what you don't like.
You're not about to disrespect
It's-
my feelings on this podcast.
I'm sorry though, because this is the issue again.
You can't do this to me.
Other people's marriages
come to
aren't
y'all better than
yours.
these.
They're not yours.
Your marriages aren't yours.
Other people's how they function
Touche.
and why they
Touche.
function, or they're not yours.
Man, shake me.
You know what I'm saying? The same thing we talked about with like sexual deviancy and quote unquote in marriages.
Okay.
If it's not my place to decide what sex you have in your marriage,
Okay.
it's not my place to decide why you're married.
Why are you rapping to me right now?
I'm just saying because I think
Stop
we're
spitting
we're
bars.
way too comfortable with infringing on people's. For a group of people who love to talk about how they hate the government infringing on their rights, we're way too comfortable with infringing on other people's rights, and it makes me mad uncomfortable
You got it.
sometimes.
You got it.
It makes me
got it.
very, very disturbed that like,
When you break it down like that,
and this goes back to my whole things about transgender people. It's like,
Touche.
yo,
tie it all
let
in there.
them
Tie it all
motherfuckers
in there,
be.
Charles.
When I mean that, I mean let these people
All encompassing.
exist the way they want to exist.
You got it.
Doesn't matter what you like.
You got it.
You can scream to the heavens how much you don't like it.
Talk to him.
But let these people, and this one thing niggas be like, man, I'm just, no, you're not just saying that. You're saying that, you're getting angry, sometimes you're getting inebriated, and you're going to do harm.
And then you're being disrespectful.
And then
You was being disrespectful
and doing
then
harm,
you're doing harm.
and then
Yeah,
doing
for sure.
harm, and then
For
after
sure.
doing harm,
You got
saying making weird excuses as to why it's okay, and that shit is really, really weird to me.
Yeah.
That grown men can find it in themselves
Mm-hmm.
to be so concerned with the sexuality, the gender, the relationship status, all these things of other people.
For sure.
Shit don't make you no money. Leave that shit alone.
It don't bring you no food.
Leave that shit
alone. It don't bring
Give
you
no shelter.
Leave that shit alone.
Very
So we
confused.
always say three things. if it don't bring me if I can't come from it, if I can't make no money from it, and I'm not satisfied from it, then what the fuck I need it for?
I just don't.
We always left it at them three things. Like ever since I met you in 2000, I don't know what 2000 it was, but ever since I met you in that 2000 year,
I just don't get it. I'm just
them
like
three things always stuck in my mind.
I really be confused because
You know what I'm saying?
it's a lot of growth, and this is the part that I love the most.
If it don't make you come, make you
I'm
eat, or
I'm
don't
trying to
make you
find
no
a
money,
solution
what
for
you
the
doing?
community. You niggas don't never be in nobody's food drive. Y'all never be volunteering at no elementary, middle, high schools.
Shout out to J Flow.
Some of y'all
301.
niggas will work there and that'll be it. Y'all
That's
work
it.
there and leave. That don't count. Y'all niggas do not care about these people, do not care about these kids, don't care about these communities.
Talk to
But
them.
you want to talk for them. Represent them. I'm like, you niggas have to relax. It's a lot of weird behavior going on, and I really just hope we get better. Like,
Okay.
I'm not even talking about as a people. I'm talking about we as individuals. Every person just get better, myself included, because it's a lot of wacky
Oh, no,
behavior.
niggas need some growth in their life.
A lot of wacky behavior. Once again, I'm not. I hate to sometimes come on here and sound like I'm better than or smarter than, but it's just like I see a lot of nonsense and a lot of shit that gets praised, and I'm like, well then maybe I am. Like no funny. Like maybe my way of thinking is a little different. So maybe I am better, and I have no issue saying that. No problems and no issues. No issues.
Touche.
Because I just feel as though everyone's allowed to live their truths and think things, and I'm confused as to why any thought process that isn't sort of like mainstream, like yes, right in the now.
What is
isn't
mainstream
acceptable.
thought process?
Well, I would say like the most mainstream sort of thought process are like anything that is associated with like liberal movements. So the idea of inclusivity, diversity, and my thing about these are all buzzwords for like what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
If we live in a
I
country,
was thinking about that.
if we live in a country of like X amount of this people, how do you determine their
we
diversity
live
for
in
this
America.
group?
What that mean?
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean that diversity for what?
I'm a
Like
minority
for women?
in like three different
For men?
ways.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. For religion, what is the idea? So we use these
So like,
words.
what you talking about?
That's my point. We use these words to get over on actual having real conversations about humanity. Because any conversation of humanity starts with the most disenfranchised groups of people. And how do you disenfranchise? You look at who's disenfranchised. What are the sort of pillars of this country? Race and religion.
Come on.
So you would look at those groups first. And I just see, once again, we don't actually do these things. We don't care to do these things. We don't actually want to talk about these things. We want to talk about Boosie and Lori Harvey. So I will end on Boosie and Lori Harvey. I love Lori Harvey because she doesn't say anything.
Hey son, she a nigga.
And shout out to her because
Not that ass.
The
She
sm-
don't talk. That is my favorite thing about this young lady.
If
She
you-
does not talk.
if you ever
She
learn,
is silent.
if there's anything I would say that Lori Harvey has taught anybody is that the aura of mystery is far greater than people knowing what you actually are. None of us know where Lori Harvey is, and because we don't know, we are all intrigued and we all want to have some sort of
I just
opinion
know
on
that
it.
she was a equestrian rider.
Not me personally.
And then
but
she broke her spine.
the rest of y'all.
She got injured doing riding horses, and then after that she became a model.
I
and
learn
now
so
she
much
out
more
here.
new information about
You know
this
what I'm
girl
saying?
every week.
I bet no. I Googled her.
Every week.
Fuck that. I Googled her, and I was like, "Who is this young lady?" I wanted to know.
Y'all should look at my
And
Google
after that,
searches.
and I was just like, "I'm good."
Not Lori